The Constitutional Bind. How Americans Came to Idolize a Document That Fails Them. By Aziz Rana. Published by the University of Chicago Press. For Nawaz and Talib. Preface. 3 Centennials. The year 2087 will mark the 3rd centennial of the drafters' signing of the United States Constitution in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. What do Americans want to celebrate by that time? What type of society do we want to share, and what kind of world should we make for the future? In 1887 and in 1987, the U.S. celebrated the first and the second centennials. On the surface, those earlier anniversary events had much in common. They both faced initial funding setbacks, but eventually featured patriotic festivities and even speeches by the sitting president. Yet below the surface, the political climates were radically different, cutting against the idea that Americans' relationship to their Constitution never really changes. The 1887 centennial faced significant organizing difficulties, problems finding speakers, and a general lack of public interest, with events beyond Philadelphia largely faltering. This presaged a broader uncertainty about the Constitution that would define the subsequent decades. The country was still reeling from a brutal civil war, which raised basic questions about whether the existing constitutional system could effectively negotiate deep social cleavages. The consequences of industrialization only intensified these worries, and in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, the U.S. suffered the most violent labor conflicts in the world. In the 1920s and 1930s, domestic developments were part of the greatest global capitalist crisis in history. All the while, legal political institutions seemed incapable of responding. The constitutional structure's endless veto points made it nearly impossible for those less privileged to use elections to better their lot, while business elites wielded outsized power at virtually every level of government. Wrestling with these problems, a wide array of early 20th century reformers called for basic transformations to the constitutional system. They sought a new governing order in which poor and working people, rather than insulated judges and entrenched corporate and racial elites, could intervene continuously through elections and mass movements to create institutions and programs truly responsive to popular needs. But by the 1987 bicentennial, virtually all those debates and reform ambitions had been forgotten. Americans were largely swept up in a celebratory wave, one expounding the exceptional.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?